everyone, it's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. So today I have an exciting Q&A video as a thank you for 600 subscribers. You guys are amazing and I am so grateful to each and every one of you. So thank you so much. The first two questions are from Gregory LaPerche. Number 1, does everyone in Arkansas have a Bill Clinton impression, and can we hear yours? No and no. You do not want to hear my impressions. And I knew that was going to come up, and he just came out of the gate swinging. Number 2, what genre are you most looking forward to reading more of? Sci-fi. I've read a lot more in the past probably 2 years than I have ever, especially with my book club, The Space Sirens, that I co-host with a bunch of other lovely booktubers. That has definitely exposed me to a lot more sci-fi, and I found that I really do enjoy the genre. I just need to read more of it. So I'm looking forward to reading more of that next year. The next few are from my friend Tara from the channel Phase 84. Number 1, favorite cozy mystery book and series. The Bake Shop Mysteries by Ellie Alexander are my all-time favorites. I also really love the Amish Candy Shop series by Amanda Flower. Do you have a daily routine? Yes, I am very much a routine person. I wake up at the same time every day, and that gives me a chance to listen to a bit of an audiobook while I wake up and then get ready. And then I go to work. I work the same hours, take my lunch break at the same time. And then when I come home, I watch some TV show that's always a rerun because I'm the worst at starting new shows. Right now it's Rizzoli and Isles or Queer Eye. I'll make dinner and eat, and then I will either knit and listen to an audiobook or I'll read, and then I try to get into bed about 9ish and fall asleep by 11ish. When is the best time for you to read? Probably either mid-morning or after work. I tend to find that early in the morning and then in the afternoon, I tend to be sleepy and it just doesn't click as well. And what would be your superpower? I would love the ability to teleport so that I never had to commute again. That would be amazing. The next few are from my friend Amber at Books of Amber. What book first got you into reading? The two earliest I can remember are Anne of Green Gables and Nancy Drew. I reread all those books countless times. How did you discover the book community? So, that was thanks to my library science degree. I was taking a young adult literature course and we had to do a book review and we had to create a channel and then share it. So I was looking up filming book review videos and I stumbled upon Booktube and that's all she wrote. So it was a happy accident. Favorite book of the year so far? It's so hard. Honestly, the one that has just really stuck with me and touched me the most is The Mountains Sing. I read that twice and I still would reread it again. I loved that book so much. It's historical fiction, which is not my normal genre, but it was just a beautiful book. A beautiful book. And do you prefer to marathon series or leave gaps in between? I would love to marathon series, but I am the worst at finishing series. We read A Memory Called Empire, I think at the end of last year, and I still have not read the sequel. Not because I don't want to. It just keeps getting pushed back. So I usually leave gaps in between. Unfortunately, I want to do better about that. But and finally, do people in real life know about your Booktube channel? Yes. Yes, they do. I still don't know how I feel about that. So the next two are from my friend Charmaine. And her first question is, what is the series everyone should read, and why is it the Greenbone Saga? The Greenbone Saga is amazing. It's got Asian-inspired mafia characters and this amazing magic system set around Jade, and everybody needs to read it. It's phenomenal. I also love the Daevabad trilogy. That is such a rich, atmospheric series with such a satisfying ending. I mean, honestly, I just want everyone to read the Greenbone Saga and Robin Hobb. We need people to read more Robin Hobb. And her next question is, you are the newest member of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Who do you want to be assigned a case with first? I am one of those people that until I get comfortable in what I'm doing, I'm really nervous. So I think I want to be with Amy because she's very much like me. She's very organized and she knows what she's doing. So I feel like she'd be a good person to learn from. And I feel like we would get along really well. And the next few are from Anetha, who actually has a new channel. I will link all these people down below. And she asked, who is the most recent author you found and recommend to everyone? Honestly, probably Robin Hobb. I recommend her books to everyone, even though she's not a recent author. But I just started reading her books this year. Fonda Lee with the Greenbone Saga. Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. That is a good one. That one everybody needs to read because it is amazing. And what's your favorite TV series this year? If we're going by series that came out this year, I think literally the only one I've watched is Virgin River. Because I got sucked in and it was so good. Other than that, I honestly just watch the same shows over and over again. Golden Girls, Designing Women, Murder, She Wrote, The Closer, and Rizzoli and Isles, and Queer Eye. And Worst Cooks in America is my favorite, trash TV show. Leanne's Library asked me, what is your favorite mythical creature? Dragons. They're just so cool. And they're amazing. I think they're awesome. I'm going to go with dragons. That's a basic answer, but look at who you're talking to. And my friend Ro asked me, what are some cozy mystery series you want to try but haven't yet? So let me pull up my handy dandy spreadsheet. I really want to try the Cat in the Stack series by Miranda James. It's set in a library, and as a library science major, that makes me really happy. Another one I want to read is the Southern Ladies series by Miranda James. The first book is called Bless Her Dead Little Heart. Enough said. Also, the Mainly Needlepoint series by Leah Waite. All of her books are set in Maine, which is where I want to be in all the time. So I think all of those will be really good. Ben the Overlord asked, what fictional characters would you like to see meet each other? That's so hard. You know what would be really funny? And this would be a complete and utter disaster. But Stephanie Plum and Yasna from the Stormlight Archive. Stephanie Plum is a walking chaotic hurricane. And Yasna is very put together and scholastic and just one of those just solid people. And if they got together, oh my gosh. Yasna would probably murder Stephanie, but it would be a really fascinating and probably entertaining story. Channing Over Your Tatum asked, what are the 3 series everyone should watch? Oh, I love how everybody's asking me TV questions. I watch a lot of TV. My go-to answers are Golden Girls. Honestly, I think everyone should watch The Closer with Kira Sedgwick. She is hilarious and so relatable. And there's so many running jokes through that show. It's fantastic. Another one I really like is Rizzoli and Isles. It's based on the books by Tess Garrison. Great characters in that series. Great mysteries. And the other one I think everyone should watch is Queer Eye. That is my show that I go to when I want to feel better about myself, or I want to have my faith in humanity restored, or I just want some positivity. It makes me happy cry every single time, and I love it to death. What makes you recommend a book? Great characters, great world building, if it has elements that I think certain people would like, and also if the writing is accessible. Like, for example, Malazan, I would not recommend to everyone. It's got kind of a specific audience that I would recommend those books to people. If you could witness one event in Outlander, which one would it be? These are so hard. Okay. There's one scene, and I don't want to give too much detail because it happens in book 4. But there's a scene near the end of the book where they're having the calling of the clans. And I haven't read this book in probably 10 years, but it has stuck with me over anything else in that novel. But each clan, they're calling out to each other to say, like, I'm here. And the way Diana Gabaldon wrote it was so amazing, and I was sobbing. Even though it wasn't a sad scene, it just, like, it touched me. And I would love to witness that in person. I think that would be so amazing. So amazing. Social Teist asks, if you could eat only one type of food for a week, what would it be and why? I love paneer tikka masala. So good. I could totally live off that. But if we're going more broad, if I want to cheat a little bit, I could live off strictly Indian food and I would be a happy camper. What is the most aesthetically pleasing, beautiful book you own? So it's the Litjoy Crate Strange the Dreamer duology. These are heavy. Whew. But it's got a really gorgeous slipcover. And then the art is printed directly on the hardback. It's got beautiful end pages, edges, and it's also annotated. Gorgeous. And in the same vein, what is the oldest book you own? So these are my great grandmother's. I have a whole set that you can't see up there, but it's the Complete Works of Charles Dickens, and it's the Royal Canadian edition because she was Canadian. And there were only 1,000 of these printed, I think, but she always signed her name. And it's got really beautiful illustrations. And this is pre-copyright. There's not a date printed or anything. So I'm thinking these were printed early 1900s. My grandmother was... Yeah, I'm thinking early 1900s. And they're kind of falling apart, which is why I don't really read them. But they're so cool. And... My good friend Kate sent me a few questions. What are you looking forward to most on our eventual move to Scotland? Just being in Scotland and seeing the scenery and visiting the Highlands, I think would be amazing. What is the first book you want to include in our future book lounge? Anne of Green Gables. That is one book I want everyone to read, and it's a happy book. And one that people, young and old, will love. What is your favorite magical creature? My favorite is Theodore from House in the Cerulean Sea. He's a little wyvern who collects like buttons and little knickknacks. I love him. I love him so much. And the second one, because I'm going to add another one, is Mephi from the Bone Shard Daughter. They are both adorable with a capital A. And finally, what is your favorite comfort food? Ice cream. I love ice cream. Also cheese. Pretty much anything bad for you, but ice cream is probably my favorite. And Grace Dion, what was your favorite book or series growing up? Nancy Drew was my absolute favorite. I still love her. I still reread the books. I loved seeing someone smart and independent solve these mysteries, and I think my mother was the one that gave me her copies that she had growing up, and that's what got me into them, and I've loved those books ever since. The next few are from my friend Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book. If you had to live in a classic book, which book would you choose? That's so hard. Maybe Pride and Prejudice, because she ends up with Mr. Darcy, and I would be okay with that. I could marry Mr. Darcy. This is assuming I'm going to be the main character and not just a side character. They live in a beautiful part of England. It's England, not Arkansas, so it's not going to be humid, sweaty summers, and I would get to read a lot. So I'm going to go with Pride and Prejudice. What are your top 5 favorite bands? Butch Walker is my absolute favorite. Absolute favorite. He is amazing. And even if you don't know who Butch Walker is, you probably know a lot of the people he's produced music for. But definitely check him out. I've seen him play live twice, and he is amazing. I love Sam Cooke. He's amazing as well. Michael Jackson. Whitney Houston. And I also really love Harry Styles. I listened to a little bit of everything growing up. Should we have a Lord of the Rings movie marathon? All caps, yes. Yes. What is your favorite and least favorite vegetable? Ooh. My favorite vegetable is probably butternut squash, which sounds weird, but I only get to have it like once or twice a year because I'm too lazy to put all that work into it. But it's so good. My least favorite is artichokes because I had a bad experience with some and I just can't even stomach the thought of eating them anymore. And what is your favorite Space Sirens book we've read so far? Ooh. Probably The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet because that book just makes me happy thinking about it. I loved that book so much. The next few are from my friend Lana from Lauren Lullabies. What is a weird subject you never thought you would have a conversation about but found yourself in a conversation about? If we end up in a zombie apocalypse, which one of my coworkers would survive and who would be the first one to eat someone in the office? I don't remember how we got on that topic, but it was a full-on discussion. And we mapped out who would survive and who would be the first to be eaten. What's your favorite non-book related occupation? Knitting. I love knitting. If I could teach knitting, I would. I love it. It's so relaxing. What paranormal species do you wish existed? I'm not too super familiar with paranormal. I do not want demons to exist. Those would freaking terrify me. I think it'd be cool if Phoenix existed, since I have a Phoenix tattoo that you can't really see, but I think that would be amazing. Have you ever done an escape room and did you escape? I have not, but there is one right down the road from where I work that has been catching my attention. I really want to try one. I think it would be so much fun, but I have not had the opportunity, mostly because I'm very antisocial. And I don't like dealing with the public at large. The next two are from my good friend Cheyenne. So she asked, how are you so fabulous? I get it from my mom. And no question, just want to tell you I am so proud and you're amazing. Thank you. I love you so much. Cheyenne was my very first Booktube friend, and she is amazing. I love her to pieces. So Stormy from Stormreads asked, what is something you won't read? I won't ever read a J. Kristoff book again. I read Nevernight and I enjoyed it at the time, and then the more I thought about it, the more I did not like it. And I think just the way he is as a person is kind of pretentious, and I just don't like him. I also will not read a book if it has very graphic animal abuse or death. I cannot. I cannot do that. Ursi from Cersei's Booked asked, have you traveled anywhere fun or cool? Share a good memory. I've traveled a bit. My absolute favorite trip was I got an opportunity to study abroad for a couple weeks in the Lake District to study Wordsworth. And one of my best friends was in the class and we went. And then afterward, we spent 2 weeks backpacking around to different places. One of my favorite memories from that trip, we were in Bettysecoy, Wales. And we stayed at a bed and breakfast. And literally right down the hill, there was this amazing pub. And one night we all just hung out and just talked to the local people. And it was so much fun. There was music and drinking, and we learned Welsh words, which I won't repeat on here. And it was just so much fun. I just really loved just being there and getting to know the townspeople and experiencing the culture. It was so cool. The other really cool memory I had was we went to Amsterdam. We saw the Anne Frank house, and just seeing in person how tiny that actually is was just completely eye-opening. And I remember I just cried throughout that whole tour, but it stuck with me, but in a good way. And I'm really glad I got to see it. It was very eye-opening. And then the Overlord again asked, what is your go-to karaoke song? You do not want to hear me sing, ever. My brother has perfect pitch and he tells me I'm flat. But I love singing show tunes. So if I could sing, I don't know. You don't want to hear me sing. We'll just leave it at that. I'm horrible. I've never done karaoke either. I think it'd be fun, but I would have to be extremely intoxicated to have enough courage to do that in front of people. The next two, I'm not sure who submitted them, but it says, what is the worst book you have read this year? Okay, I'm going to go with Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is book number 3 in the Caraval trilogy, and I'm so sorry. It's just a hot mess of a book. There weren't any redeeming qualities about it. I rage read the last part of that book. I did not like it. Would not ever read again. Gave away my copy. And do you have a Booktube regret? I don't know. I don't really like having a lot of regrets because I view my mistakes and things that have happened as learning experiences. I do remember I had a cozy mystery book haul, was one of the first videos on my channel. And I read the synopsis off the back of the book for every single book. And that was so boring even to edit, but I still posted it because I was just excited to be posting. So I wish I had kind of jazzed that up a little bit. Things like that. Like things that I've eventually learned over time. But again, it's a learning experience. So I don't know. I don't really have Booktube regrets. And the last two are from my friend Angela from Literature Science Alliance. And she says, what is your favorite football team? Well, as we all know, I am the sports aficionado of our Space Sirens group. I am not a sports person. Pick your team and there you go. And last, not a question, but I want to know all the pets coming home stories. Okay. Oliver, I found under a crate when I was working at Harvest Foods when I was a teenager. I found her outside and I still had like an hour left of my shift and I couldn't leave early. So I smuggled her in the back and kept her like away from all the food, but kept her in a little box with a blanket until I could take her home. We found out she was a girl because she got pregnant with Hobbs, who is my mom's cat, named after Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbes. Butch was fun. My mom is not a dog person, and I went on a vacation to Canada with her and my aunt, and my brother Max stayed at home. And when we came home, we had a Butch, and he was adorable, and he behaved even better than the cats, and now my mom loves him and is a dog person. Butch named after Butch Walker, who was amazing. And Lucy, my little Hurricane Lucy, my mom's coworker at the time had a bunch of kittens. She wanted them to go to good homes, and we had 3 cats and a dog at the time. She ding-dong ditched Lucy like she was around the corner, but I opened the door and there's a basket with a kitten with a little pink bow and a bottle of wine for my mom, and then a poem about the cat. My mom was just like, we'll keep the cat, and she's been my baby ever since. And my favorite story is my cat Audrey, who passed away in 2019. She was my baby. I got her when I was 14. I really, really wanted a kitten. And this was before Oliver and all the pets I have now. And my dad took me to the Humane Society to get one, and she was this pure black little cat, and she had 3 other kittens in the carrier with her named Larry, Curly, and Mo. And I picked her up, and she immediately latched her little paws on my thumb and licked my thumb until I took her home. And she was my best friend and my little shadow until she passed away. But she was extra special to me because my dad got her for me as a present. Those are all the pet coming home stories, and I regret none of them. So thank you for sticking with me. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who have subscribed to me and comment on my videos and interact with me in Discord and Twitter and Instagram and all of that. I genuinely appreciate it, because without you I would just be talking to myself on camera. And I have made so many wonderful friends in this community. So I'm really happy I decided to join Booktube. If you've made it this far, drop your favorite animal emoji down below. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.